In this week's Parsha of Korach, we read of the complaints by Korach and his companions against Moshe and Aaron's authority. Korach proclaims Rav Lachem, which is generally translated as "you have too much," and therefore Rashi expands and explains, "Harbe yoter midai lakachtem latzmechem gedulah." You've assumed for yourselves far too much leadership. According to this interpretation, Korach and his followers objected to the extent of Moshe and Aaron's authority. And yet, when you look at what they say, their claim actually is not the extent of the authority, because Kikola Eda Kulam Kedoshim. They also say that everyone is sacred and the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in their midst. And therefore, it seems to be that they reject entirely Moshe and Aaron's ability in any capacity to be authoritative, to be the people, the Gedulah, the people, the leaders of the nation. And therefore, Rav Shmuel David Lutzato, the Shadal, explains that Rav Lachem doesn't mean too much, but rather long enough. And his basis is another pasuk that we're going to encounter in Dvarim, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu commands Bnei Yisrael to leave Mount Seir. Rav Lachem Sovet Harazem. You've surrounded this mountain long enough. Similarly, Shadal claims that Korach and his followers charge not that Moshe and Aaron assumed too much power and authority, but rather that their term of leadership had expired. It went too long. The people needed a Moshe and Aaron only at the beginning stages of their exodus from Egypt. But now, everyone, they're all sacred. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with everyone. There's no longer any need for your type of leadership, for your prophecy. So why do you raise yourselves over everyone else, Korach argued. It's now that the Mishkan is erected, now that it's functioning and korbanot could be offered, everybody has the capacity, the ability to be a leader and a prophet. The Mishkan, in the view of Korach, and as explained by Shadal, they believed that it enabled every person to instantly become the equivalent of Moshe and Aaron. According to this approach, Korach's error related to the common misconception that the Mishkan, that a place has the ability to impart sanctity upon someone else. They failed to realize that there are no shortcuts to spiritual greatness, that even in the presence of the Shekhinah, the Mishkan, even then, people weren't automatically endowed with Kedusha. Even if God is in their midst, they still needed a Moshe Rabbeinu. No one could rise to his level of leadership. And therefore, Korach's rebellion was wrong and ultimately had to be put down.